Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy Eric Buckner, Eric B, and this is a very special edition of Get Off My Lawn Live. I am going on live to basically give you a preview of this week's show that I'm doing on Tuesday, 8:30, and also the one I'm doing Wednesday at 9. But I also want to share a couple important messages with you guys. So please indulge me for a few as I have this discussion. Okay, folks, here's the thing. Hopefully, everybody's had a very good Thanksgiving holiday. You had time to enjoy your family and friends, and hopefully, you guys did it responsibly. But as we know, some of you honestly did not. And no, it's not my place to preach to you how you should have lived your life or how you should live your life. Please don't take this part of the discussion as me doing that. But I do want to talk to you about some of the consequences of some of the actions that you guys have taken. Because, of course, this leads us to a discussion about COVID. Now, I'm sure as soon as you see some of you that this is going there, you will basically tune me out. And I understand that. But in the same token, I would be negligent as a person who has this platform, if I do not continue to have these discussions with people and try to educate you on some things that you may already know or some things that you don't know in regards to COVID. Because it is. It is very much a part of our daily lives at this moment. Not just here in the United States, not just here in my beautiful city of Detroit, not just here in the state of Michigan, but all across the United States and all across the world. COVID is a major part of what's going on. Because of COVID, we cannot go and do things as we normally have. We have to now accept that for what it is. As we figure out this vaccine situation and distribution and effectiveness and who's going to take what, until a time where we got all that resolved, we need to understand that life as we are used to living it cannot be conducted in this manner. There are some people out there, they choose to live their lives as if COVID does not exist. That they just turn off these news stations, these broadcasts, all these things, they discuss these things, and they carry on as if none of it is happening. They try their best to get away with not social distancing, not wearing masks, not properly sanitizing themselves. And ultimately, some people have lived to regret that. Some people have died as a result of it. And we need to understand that. Keep in mind, we are in the winter months here in the United States. And because of that, and the fact that COVID-19 is a respiratory virus, there will be increases in positivity, but also, as you see, there are increases in hospitalizations and deaths as a result of this. Over 90,000 people in the United States, as we speak, are being hospitalized because of COVID-19. In addition to the people who are being hospitalized for other reasons. We've had those discussions. But the thing is, we now have to start to view things differently. We now have a new leader coming into the office of the presidency. He, as our chosen leader, is taking a different stance on COVID-19 and how we need to deal with this epidemic. And because of that, we in turn need to start listening to how that is going to play out. Because, granted, people's personal freedoms are a major reason why we find ourselves in this pandemic predicament right now, but also the lead in which it all took place, where our leader oftentimes chose not to wear a mask, did not stress the importance of it, had spreader events that did not practice social distance, what have you. We are now in positions where some people will not turn back from that. They refuse to see it any other way. They are still alive and well, or they've gotten the virus and it basically gave them mild or no symptoms, so they survive and they feel like they are invincible. Now, granted, they are doing studies that are studying how good the antibodies are for people who have had COVID-19, if they're even better than, say, taking the vaccine, if they are lifetime immunity, or how strong they are over time, what have you. but we need to view this as if this is a respiratory virus similar to the flu. And I know myself, I've had the flu more than once. Is it possible you can get COVID-19 more than once? There's been a few reports that said some people have, but because we're still learning things about this virus, it is important for us to do our due diligence and take our precautions the best way we know how. So let me get into some of this. And yes, I do want to acknowledge some of the people in my Nighthawk network. I will get to that a little further in the broadcast, but we basically have our things that we're learning about virus protections and whatnot, and they're sharing them with others. And I want to share some things, and some of these things I've learned from them. Okay, let's go into the basics, people. As you know, this is a mask, okay? This is a mask. Note this is the inside of my mask. This is the outside, okay? Now, when you put on said mask, you want to do it with the loops, okay? You want to avoid touching this part of your mask at all. Because remember, your hands have touched other surfaces. This is what is considered cross-contamination. So if you touch something and you then in turn touch the front part, or even more so the inside of your mask with your hands, you have contaminated that with whatever was on your hands. So when you're putting your mask on, you want to put it on thusly, okay? You want a good mask that's covering both your nose and your mouth. Know how this particular mask is even close to my eyes, so all that is being protected. Now remember, this is a mask. Of course, it's harder to breathe in said mask because it is covering your air holes. We understand that. I am a person of a considerable size, okay? So yes, as I'm sitting here talking to you in the mask, it's a little harder to breathe or talk even, and I understand that. But in the same token, it's helping as a barrier. So if someone else is talking to me and the droplets that are coming from their mouth or even from their nose happens into the air and happens upon your body, you then in turn are not as protected as using something that has protection, okay? It's that simple. Keep in mind, yes, our mask allows for air, okay? So as far as 100% protection from a virus, no, it is not. And people will be quick to send you, as they have with me, okay, masks don't totally protect you from viral infection, what have you. Yes, understood. But you significantly increase your protection from said virus with one of these upon your face. Another thing, people, the quality of your mask is an issue. Now, the leading people who talk about these things, and you can look up them many on what Will would call YouTube University. I like that term, Will. They talk about why certain masks are good and some not so good. Keep in mind, there's a way to test that, okay? Get your handy dandy flashlight, okay? Turn it on. Put it to your mask. Nope. You see very little light going through this mask, okay? But you do see a little light, do you not? No light, little light. So yes, it is slightly porous, but less porous than most. Now say you get one of these. Keep in mind, as the pandemic went on and I wasn't certain how much activity I would have in the public, I bought a variety of different masks, trying to basically test which one was good for me breathing, not breathing, exercise, what have you. I happened upon these masks. Now this mask, not so good. You know why? Again, take the test. You got your light. See how much light is going through that? The less light that you see going through your mask, the more protection that it probably will provide you. So when you get a mask, do this simple test and it'll let you know just how porous or how much protection your mask has. You basically want to get a mask that has at least 2 or 3 good layers, okay? Now, another mask that I found, and let me show you the packaging. Note the packaging. Know how it's vacuum sealed and what have you, okay? I got these from Target. Okay, that's this mask right here. Now, again, we do our test. You do see a little light, but see, the thing about this particular mask is it has provided these openings where you can put additional protection, a filter, and you can use anything from say toilet paper, paper towel, coffee filter, what have you, as an additional filter, and that will add some additional protection to that. Keep in mind, there are people who are being very selfish in this process, okay? They are not considering their fellow man. I feel like in this life, everything happens for a reason. Now, who created Corona-19, or if it was man-made, or if it just came from the heavens itself, who knows? And whether you believe in God, Allah, Yahweh, or whoever you call the creator, there is a reason why this has been allowed to happen, and we have to understand that. Don't you find it rather interesting that this particular illness affects our oldest people first, the people with the most knowledge, the people who have lived this life the longest? It also seems to adversely affect people who have pre-existing conditions, overweight, basically people like myself who definitely could take a little better care of ourselves health-wise. Note how, again, most of the people who, and I will say this continually, most of the people who contract COVID-19 will not die. They will not have long existing conditions because of COVID-19. But that being said, is it wise to be the one who uses yourself as the experiment to say, I wonder if that's going to be me or not? I don't think that's a wise decision myself. Now, I'm getting a lot of comments here, and allow me to address some of them before I move on. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate you very much. Okay, let's see what we got. H2 is in the house. Love you too, H2. Also, covering your hair is important. That's absolutely right. Actually, the more you can cover, the better. And I'm going to get into that in a second, Will. I cried so much having to see my family members die and couldn't have their loved ones with them when they die. I want to get into that too briefly. Miss Pat Pranitha, I will do so. Yes, you are in the building. Paper towel, seen a woman use a maxi pad. Like I said, all these things work as barriers. I love you, Elena, and Eric knows what me and my family are going through. Absolutely. Because people are not just being affected themselves. Their family has been affected by COVID. I've lost loved ones. I've lost family members. I've lost people that I have a great affection for because of COVID. It bothers me to this day. It keeps me up at night sometimes. It's hard. It's been a blessing to me. And yes, COVID has been a blessing in a way too. I've discussed that on my last episode. More needs to be done to fight the virus. America isn't doing well on dealing with COVID. Absolutely, however, I agree. It depends on the individual and their health issues also. Yes, take precautions. As you see, most of us are on the same page. But see, unfortunately, this is not a broadcast that I could take and put to the people that's on my page that really need to hear it. There are some family members and friends on my page. I really wish I could encourage them to listen and heed the warnings that I'm giving them right now, because I'm very concerned about how they are proceeding with the virus based on what I'm seeing and what I hear from them doing. Amy, absolutely. I'm in tears. I am so glad you are sharing this platform. I mean, that's what it's here for. Like I said, I'm not only thankful for the platform, I'm also thankful for the people who are sharing their platforms with me as well. Like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. But let me get back to the COVID thing. Now, again, Will pointed out that it is good to cover as much as you can as possible. No, it's not cold here in my house. I'm wearing this for effect. Because another thing that concerns me, particularly about our young people, is as it gets colder during the winter months, a lot of our young people nowadays, they are not taking proper precautions to cover their bodies. As a result, the possibility of them getting sick is more of a likelihood. Keep in mind, we have these coverings that we wear in the wintertime for a reason. It's cold out there. And your body temperature helps to regulate what goes on in your body. So when you put yourself in a position to where you go outside and you got on a little thin, because like for some people, this is their winter coat. This is merely just that. This is not no fancy thing. This is just a little hoodie, okay? This is good for a day like this when you go outside and it's almost 50 degrees and you just need to go to the store as I did. But some people wear this as their winter stuff, okay? They wear this and maybe a shirt, and that's it. During this time of COVID, that's probably not wise ever, but especially now. Think about it. You end up getting a cold because basically you did not regulate your body temperature properly by not having the proper clothing on when you go outside. And now as a result, you are sick. But see, then of course, if you get too sick, you have to be hospitalized. And what happens when you go to said hospital and most of the people there are taking up beds because of COVID? And so that you have all those people with COVID in that one area. A lot of our hospital workers are getting sick from people who are not COVID. Pernitha will tell you that one of the people that have died in her family, there was a healthcare worker, and they contracted the virus from helping to take care of others. She's not one of the only people with that story. I know 2-3 people actually that have people in the healthcare industry that have contracted COVID-19, primarily because they were taking care of other people who had the illness. And you know, they have, for the most part, more PPE than we all do in terms of the mask and what have you. And they still managed to get COVID. So that should let you know just how bad the virus is, just how contagious it is at this point. Particularly if you put yourself in an environment where basically you seeing people with the virus every day. The likelihood that you get it is just a numbers game at that point. You're more likely to get it than not, it would appear. I mean, it only makes sense. So as we pray for these people, we also need to do our best to help them out in their endeavor by not being part of their problem right now. Because in the end, I'm fortunate. I'm able to stay home right now and not be in the public and deal with all that. But eventually, that will be an issue, particularly if Congress is not able to get this coronavirus package together. We'll talk about that Tuesday as we usually do. But anyway, other things that we got to consider, like I said, Will very smartly pointed out that, you know, we want to cover as much as we can. Now, of course, some people, they don't like to deal with the mask thing. They come out with these things. And thank you, Auntie, for getting this. But basically, this has just been a decoration in my household because know how thin it is. Note that, yes, it does cover your face. So it is helpful to a degree. But in the same token, if you're wearing just this as a covering, there's all type of air and situations that can come all through here as you be out and about in the public. So like I said, this might be okay if you are somewhere and you just around a couple folks, but I myself say, ideally, get you something similar to this, something thicker, mind you. Add it with the mask, okay? So that gives you added protection. So now your face is covered, your mouth is covered on that end. And also, like I said, because it's wintertime, you want to have your covering. So people, see this? Wear it, people, okay? Because it covers your ears and all that too. Because, yeah, anything that is open on your face is a potential entry point for the virus. Keep in mind, our skin is porous, folks. I know it looks solid and whatnot, but our skin has pores. And the virus contraction pretty much goes to when people get to touching their face, or the droplets from people who may have the virus comes in contact their face. It soaks into your skin, into your bloodstream, and there you go. So like I said, we know most of us have that habit of touching our face constantly, okay? So at some point, you have touched your face, and if the virus, depending on how much the virus is in the system or the air or what have you at that moment, is with you, then you add to the possibility of you contracting it. Because, yeah, you may be around somebody every day that has the virus and may not get it. That's just how crazy this virus thing is. But in the same token, they say it only takes 15 minutes for you to be around somebody that has the virus, and you in turn can contract it. Now, another thing I want to point out to folks is that, okay, we've had our Thanksgivings or what have you. I myself, and this is my opinion, this is the opinion of the host, Eric Buckner, and Get Off My Lawn Line, not any of the Nighthawk Network or any people involved in the show. I personally think if you did that and you were in a large gathering, particularly with family members, and you're not sure their points of origin from day to day, I strongly encourage you to go get COVID tested sometime later this week. And fortunately, here in the city of Detroit, they're opening up several more outlets for you to go get free testing, because I know that is an issue with people, particularly people like myself whose coins we got to count a little bit more carefully these days. They have free testing available, and I encourage you to find some of those places and get yourself tested if you have been in that environment in recent times. Because honestly, folks, we do not know if during that outing with your family, one of them had the virus and has spread it to others. There will be that story to tell, I promise you, in the next 2-3 weeks, about one family telling you how we thought we took all the precautions, we tested beforehand, what have you, but now half my family is sick and have COVID and what have you. Somebody will have that story to tell. I almost guarantee, I will bet money that that will happen, okay? And because of that, I encourage you, if you feel like you might be on the end of that story, take that precaution to go get tested. And if you are tested positive, please inform your other family members that that is the case. I know some people have gotten to shaming folks that have tested positive for COVID, like it's such a bad thing. Like you got leprosy or whatnot. It's not exactly a death sentence. It could be. Clearly, it was for over 260,000 people and counting. But in the same token, it's better for you to know that you have it, so you can start to distance yourself from others, so you don't spread it to other people, and you can work on getting back healthy, whatever means you need to do so. And if you're having more than mild symptoms, man, I strongly suggest you talk to your medical provider and see what they suggest you do. But in the end, we need to be mindful that these are the consequences of those actions and take appropriate measures, okay? So like I said, if you know somebody and they had a large gathering and whatnot, and you've been around them frequently, and I encourage you to go get tested. Plain and simple. Like I said, me for the most part, I've been here, me, myself, and I. But I've been tested twice, and fortunately, I've been negative. But like I said, if I find myself, once I go back out into the workforce and whatnot, and I feel at least even slightly iffy, I'm going to continue to get tested until we come to a time where the virus spread is not an issue. They are presently working on home tests for people, and hopefully they will become available sometime next 30-60 days, and they will not be extremely expensive. So you at that point can test yourself for COVID-19 and get a result sometime in 48 hours, I believe it says. That would be a good thing, because some people, they're just nervous about dealing with someone else testing them. But perhaps you'll trust yourself to do it. But nonetheless, let's keep those things in mind. Now, again, let me get to some of the comments before I move forward here. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments. I encourage them, in fact. Feel free to comment on anything that I'm saying. Oh, yeah, that's where we were. Okay. I cried so much having to see my family member die and have their loved ones. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let me see where I'm at. I've addressed some of these already. All right, here we go. People seem to think that COVID is a joke, and it's not. It's a very serious disease. People get on the bus with no mask. Sad. I see people smoking cigarettes after each other and no social distancing and no mask. Coronavirus doesn't discriminate. Absolutely, P. Absolutely. COVID has blessed me to meet you, Aunt Nikki, Big Red, Tracy. I'm blessed. Yes, I am blessed because I know you as well. I'm about to get into that in a minute, H2. Hold on. Yes, many don't wear winter jackets. It's so true. I need my winter coat. If I could get you one of these that I got here, I would certainly send it to you. I got a few of them, actually. I so agree, H2. We're saying the sad part is people are taking the right steps and still getting it. I know, because like I said, there is no perfect way to, truly protect yourself, unfortunately. You could be doing all the right things, all the right ways, but been around that one person for like that 15 minutes, and boom, you got it. After all of that, I still wear mine. I'm a bit old school. Some people don't know that they have COVID until it's too late. Sad but true. Because some people are in denial. You know, they still have those stories about people on their deathbed with their dying breath saying, this ain't COVID. This was just the flu. Wow. That's all I can say to that. Wow. It's letting you know that these masks and everything else isn't working. None of it is. Like I said, because in the end, the virus is spreading even more so. But the thing is, the more that we can do to help decline the spread, the better. That's the thing. Because like I said, the vaccine is on the way and hopefully they will work. And we won't have to concern ourselves with it as more people get vaccinated. But again, we have that issue of, okay, do I trust the vaccine and whatnot? That's another story. We already been there. This is good info about the masks and how to test their quality. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I have diabetes and high blood pressure. My daughter has rheumatoid arthritis and Crohn's disease. We both have preexisting and resistance is low. Getting old, y'all. Give me a second. You know what I'm trying to say, though. Give me a minute. It'll come to me. Low immune systems. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Low immune system. It's meant to be worn with a mask. Yes, she's talking about the face shield here. Absolutely. This is not covering enough to protect you from COVID. Amy is a healthcare worker, so she absolutely knows. Thank you for joining in, Amy. Appreciate it. I'm reading your book. Excellent book, by the way. That's actually good for indoors. Yes. Agreed. They also recommend face shields in conjunction with masks. Good info. Yep. You can only catch it through your nose or mouth. Now, see, again, those are things they're studying, Will, so I'm not completely sure about that. Those are the major ways you do catch it, but remember, this is novel virus. We're still learning things about it. But yeah, for the most part, they say you catch it through that, but basically through your T-zone area, because some people say that you could catch it through the ducts in your eyes as well. I've heard that from certain experts. Thank you so much, Eric, for having this platform. My family really appreciates this. When people get their mail and packages, please let them sit for 48 hours. Yes, like I said, that's another thing I'm going to get into. Hold on, y'all. And eyes, yep. Amy agrees with me. They're not saying it can be sexually transmitted. Fox 2 shared it. Interesting. Yep, Will. Some of you guys are acknowledging each other. I appreciate that as well. I wonder if most insurance will pay for the home test. Yeah, I'm sure that's something they will have to look into. That's a very good point, H2. If people are or have been around people and weren't wearing a mask, they should quarantine themselves. Absolutely. That's a great point, Will. Let's address that for a second. Yeah, like I said, better safe than sorry. Take that precaution. If you have been around your family and you had to see them, I understand that. But right now, what I would do also before you get the results of the test, try to distance yourself because you don't know. You don't know if that gave it to you or not. So better safe than sorry. Take that time and isolate yourself from others and keep your distance from people until you find out for sure. That's an absolutely good point, Will. What's up, cuz? I'm in Cali and we taking it seriously. I appreciate that, cuz. I'm glad you're taking precautions still. It seems a lot of people either forgot or don't think it's useful. Sadly true. They done got very comfortable and they trying to go back to how they normally did it. And that's what's getting into a lot of people. 15 minutes of contact with an infected person within 24 hours, not continuous, but total, is dangerous. Absolutely. I've seen that as well. The masks are not meant to be 100, but they help. Absolutely. Let's see. A lot of comments. I'm loving this. Yep, we got you. Ear, nose, and eyes mainly. My bad. That's cool, Will. Like I said, we all here educating each other. That's part of why we have these forums, and I'm going to get into that. It's spread through respiratory droplets, and it's respiratory disease, therefore not sexually transmitted unless you count all the heavy breathing. Understood, Amy. Thanks for joining, Amy. Niece invited me over today. I couldn't go because it was going to be more than 10 people. Yeah, like I said, me right now, I'm concerned when I go to the grocery store. That's why I have different styles and thicknesses of masks. Right now, like I said, this is when I go for my walks and exercise. I use this mask here. But when I'm going out and about for extended period, that's when I wear my thick mask. This was created by DJ Dan Harris's mom, by the way. Shout out to her. Shout out to you, Dan, if you're out there. She made these I like to support small businesses, so I bought several of them. I have all different types. I got a couple extra ones if anybody's interested. Let me know. Okay, hold on. Moving on. I got stuck here. Hold on, folks. There we go. A lot of places are providing the test for free. Yes, there are a lot of people doing free testing right now. There's some church organizations. The city of Detroit is providing free testing as well. I say you go to the city of Detroit website. They will send you to a place where you can get that test for free. You also can go to the Wayne County website here in Michigan, and they also will tell you about some free testing as well. Helena Hologram, I'm so glad you didn't go. Yep. I shop online, and yeah, a lot of people are doing that. I, for the most part, have been an Amazon using food, but in the same token, when it comes to my perishable items and my food, I like to personally pick them out and make sure that they are what I need them to be. So that's why I go grocery store myself. But I do like to go early on when people ain't around. And please wear your mask. And this is coming from a healthcare worker herself. So take it from an expert, okay? Someone who actually knows. Wear the mask, please. And she's also saying, please change and wash your mask. And that's something else I want to get into, okay? Now, again, another reason why I like this particular style of mask in particular is because it is washable. It is hand washable. It is machine washable. I have washed them both. Keep in mind, this is one of several of these that I own. I probably own more masks than necessary, to be honest. But in the same token, my whole thing is, remember, this still has some type of porous surface, okay? So I myself like to wear them 2 times. If I know I'm going to be out more than 15 minutes, because I use that 15 minutes as a way to kind of gauge it. If I'm out more than 15 minutes in a particular place, I will wear this no more than 2 times. Then I will put it in the wash with the rest of them and pick out another one. Like I said, as you see, I have them available. I even have them because there's some people, and if they come to my home for whatever reason, and I see they have a mask, and I feel like it's not a good one, I offer them, would you like one of these? And I explain to them why, from what I've learned. Keep in mind, I don't let too many people in my household, but like say if somebody dropping off a package or whatnot, or I see somebody, walking out and about, and I feel like the mask they got on is not sufficient, I might go and be like, hey, you should try to get you one of these and explain where I got it, or, like I said, offer it to them if that's the case. Okay. If social distancing was enforced earlier on, it would have put many of the pandemics in a halt. And to a degree, that is true. But then I look at some of these other countries who took it more seriously than we have. Some of them have had very good results. Take Canada, for instance. They have a very, very smaller spread and death rate than we do. And they're right next to us, okay? And, Canada, I feel like they've played the smart in terms of how they dealt with it financially, in terms of how they dealt with it in terms of people, all of that. And like I said, to this day, they're not letting people outside of the people that work back and forth from the United States into Canada. And, because of that, they haven't allowed the sports teams and all that. I ain't mad at them. I ain't mad at all. But then take Mexico on the other end, who's dealt with this just as bad as we have, and look at some of their numbers. Let's look at Brazil and India. Now, granted, because they're a third world country, they have some more challenges that don't necessarily play here, but ultimately, these are the countries that's not doing quite so well. And because their leaders have not come out and strongly suggested that we need to do these things to keep the spread down. Okay, H2 is saying, but the sad part is they are trying to enforce it now and still people won't listen. That's what makes it harder because people still look at this as a freedom choice. I like that when Joe Biden comes out, he explains to people, no, this is not a personal freedoms issue. This is a patriotic issue. It's you looking out for your fellow American in that way. We are more sicker in this country than any other part of the world. And for the most part, when you take the amount of people we have here in terms of people and in terms of the spread and death rate, Will's absolutely correct. Now, of course, the president will often try to pull out these numbers like, okay, well, per million and all this other stuff. Don't pay that no attention. Look at it and see another thing I need to point out here before I continue. We see these numbers in the news every day. I like to post them often on my page so you understand just how serious this is. I know that these numbers are just a reflection of what the true problem is right now. There's many people out here, they will not go get tested, period. The only way we will know they have the virus is in the end, they end up in the hospital or they end up dead. And after testing their body, we know they had COVID-19. So when you see the numbers, the 13 plus million that have tested positive, that's just a portion. It may be, as some the experts have pointed out, we may have 3 or 4 times as many people that have had COVID at some point or have it now even. That's something that we need to keep in mind, folks. Okay. Cousin Nikki, hey cousin, how are you? I'm so glad you are listening. Yep. And his cabinet wears their mask, unlike Trump. Agreed. Canada financially looked out for their people. Makes me sad. Our government, yes, absolutely. With the monthly pandemic money and all that, the fact that they have universal health care doesn't hurt either. That's another story. Hell yeah. Pranita saying exactly, Helena. They were willing people to not fly, but people still don't listen. The president is one of the problems. He and his family didn't wear masks and know how they all have contracted the virus at some point. You notice that? Numbers are never 100 because it's only the people who have been tested. Absolutely. So yes, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Now, again, a lot of us, we are getting those packages, whether we're getting our groceries or stuff from Amazon, Walmart, what have you, and they're coming into our homes. And that very well could bring about because virus droplets and stuff, they do live on surfaces, depending on what survey or study you have. The time frame varies, but then of course you have to consider the person that delivered the package and all the people that contacted your package in between said delivery to your home. So yeah, it is wise that if you have a package that perhaps you let it sit. I myself, when I get my packages, I go ahead and hit it up with this a little bit, let it marinate for a minute, and then I have my gloves. Let me see, are they available right now? Well, here's some other ones. But no, I have specific gloves for this. And I put my gloves on, and then I open my package, okay? See what I got. And then depending on what it was packaged in, let it sit or maybe not let it sit. But then also, I encourage people that if you're going out, particularly now in the wintertime, and you're concerned about touching things, another thing these kids don't wear are their gloves, okay? You don't see them with no gloves on. And in the end, you know, besides the fact that you might catch frostbite or whatnot, it will also be helpful in you fighting the virus right now because the less things you physically touch with your hands, the better. That's just the fact of the matter. But okay, before we get too far into this, a couple of little small points I want to put there, and then I want to do some definite acknowledgements. Okay, again, folks, ideally when you come home after being out in the public or whatnot, it is in your best interest to wash your hands, as Amy pointed out earlier, Amy Muhammad. You should wash your hands. And of course, you know, they suggest that you, when you wash your hands, you turn on your water, you make it as hot as you can stand it. And then, of course, you are to have your hands in the soap, and you want to get a nice antibacterial soap, folks. The one that fights the 99.9% of the germs, okay? And you want to take said soap, you want to wash it in, you want to get it in between your fingers, you want to get your nails if you got one of those nail brushes. Those are helpful as well in that because remember, stuff gets inside the nail beds and whatnot. You want to wash your hands for 20 seconds. You know that rule of thumb to saying that happy birthday to you, birthday to you 2 whole times. That's about 20 seconds. And you do that. Now, if you're not able to thoroughly wash your hands at that moment, it is helpful to have you some sanitation, some hand sanitizer. Remember, okay, hold on. We get some more info about the gloves. Can be horrible because people will wear them all doggone day believing they are protected. Because yes, remember, even though you have the gloves on, you still are touching things, okay? And if you're still touching things and touching your face, counterproductive. If you're using the same little, you know, gloves or what have you, and then you don't take the time to clean your gloves or use reusable gloves or what have you, that is the issue. So yes, Amy, you are absolutely right. And bleach. Bleach helps also when you want to clean the surfaces of stuff before you open it or you touch it and what have you. I agree. Okay, but again, back to this hand sanitizer. In the end, you want to remember when you get hand sanitizer, and of course, they're still in all different types now, you definitely want something that has at least 70% alcohol base, okay? I understand that people like the ones that smell good and all that, but if you don't have something with at least 70% alcohol base, it's really not as effective as you need it to be, okay? Because the alcohol in the hand sanitizer is what kills the germs, okay? Alcohol kills germs faster than bleach, yes. So that is why this hand sanitizer, okay? So you want to look for it and make sure when you go out and you look for a brand, you'll see the active ingredient. That's usually the top thing on any of them, okay? And make sure that it's at least 70% alcohol, okay? Now, like I said, they come in various sizes and shapes. I myself have hand sanitizer for the household. And because I've been a cook for so many years, I always carry hand sanitizer in the car or on my person. So, when I go out now, definitely if I'm going to the store, I will have one of these. Because some of the stores, yeah, they do have a hand sanitizer station where you can sanitize your hands. But if not, when you touch that cart, and who knows who touched the cart and all that, you touch this and that, as soon as I get situated and I leave up out the store, you best believe, boom, boom, boom. And then when I'm bringing the groceries in, I sit them and let them marinate, boom, 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 and what have you. So if you can't get to a good hand washing station with some antibacterial soap, invest in some of these. Like I said, the price points vary, but the key, again, you want something with at least 70% alcohol. All these things I'm telling you, you can look up on YouTube University, as Will calls it, or basically hit your computer, your Google, and ask, and they will let you know like I know. If not, perhaps you have somebody like Miss Muhammad, who is a healthcare worker, who can steer you in the right direction. So that being said, I definitely want to address a couple things before I head out. One, my audience is growing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, y'all, for being involved in the show, in the comments, for all the positive and the negative feedback, quite honestly, that I'm getting from you people. I appreciate it. As you also know, I am advocating something I call the Nighthawk Network. Now, the Nighthawk Network basically consists of people like myself who are doing these types of podcasts and broadcasts, who are sharing their information and their thoughts about various topics. And I'm learning from them and I'm growing from them every day. I'm very appreciative of all of their platforms. Will Muhammad, who you've seen in the comments today, he has a show, Pure and Uncut, where they talk Lions football and more. They had a very good show today. They talked about the Lions and what their future is and what have you. But he also talks about other things, COVID being one of them. And yes, Will, I want to talk to you directly. I have been a big advocate for having people come to your show and checking out your platform. Because like I said, I've learned from you. I like to think you've learned from me as well in this process. I've met you during this time of COVID from checking out your show. And I met you through another show in the process. And we are becoming fast friends and acquaintances because of that. I've met several great people. Among them, like I said, I can just go to the comments. Tracy, I've met you through a show. Amy, I've met you through Will's show. Pranitha, I've met you through H2's show. Hey, bitches. And so on and so forth. And like I said, I'm very thankful for these connections to people, because one thing that has connected many of us is the fact that we are all kind of navigate our way through this pandemic. We haven't been out and about. Most of us is taking it seriously. So these forums we have used to not only educate one another, but we're also communicating with one another. We're kind of helping each other through. As Big Meech pointed out in his show yesterday, he is suffering from bouts of depression, not just because of the pandemic, but other things going on in his life. I am as well, partly because of the pandemic, other things going on in my life. And, we kind of helping each other get through it. So I'm appreciative that there are people there that are doing that. Okay, like I said, I don't always address everybody's show because, quite frankly, the network is growing, and I need to kind of nail down a way to where all you guys can become involved in these shows. The best way I've done that so far is to have my Get Off My Lawn information page. So when these shows do come on, Like, for example, Will Show Pure and Uncut, he has on 12 p.m. on Sundays. And then there's other people in my network, such as Behind the Blue Curtain, which is Stan Mason's show that he does with his fellow cronies. Hopefully, some of them are checking out the show. Joe, I know you reached me earlier. Joseph Mosley, author in the Chicago area. He's one of the people that's on the show. We got Pastor Tillman. He's part of the show. LaRonda Young, and I love LaRonda. LaRonda, you are awesome. I got to have you on my show. She is vibrant. She has a strong opinion. She is studying to be a doctorate of education, I believe. LaRonda, correct me if I'm wrong. And I definitely want to have her on the show. I want to have some of you guys on the show. I will also have some of the people from the network on the show as well. Me and H2 got a show planned that we're going to do some television history for y'all, because I love television. But there's positive and negative things about it that I want to discuss. I want to discuss, your thoughts and memories on it. That'll be a good show to do. Will, I want to have you on the show and talk about business here in Detroit. I plan on having Coach V to talk some sports. We can do that also, Will. There are other people on some of these platforms that are not only informing, but they're also entertaining. We got the Cardinal Dave and For Show Radio. That's a show that's part of my network. We got H2 and Hey Bitches, and the Hey Bitches remix with Eric Derrick. That's part of the network. We got Dish and Tea with Big Meech, Auntie Nikki, and Big Red. That's part of the network. I already talked about Coach V and Will and their show, Pure and Uncut. Okay, hold on. Most definitely do. Matter of fact, Will, you want to chime in for a few? I'm going to send you the invite now. In the meanwhile, folks, before I finish up, again, I'm still working this out, but for the time being, let's see how it plays today. I got my own little commercial. Let y'all check this out while I take care of some business here. Hold on. All right, folks, we're back. Yeah, my bad, Will. I thought you were saying today, but yeah, Will said he definitely will chime in, shoot to come kick it with us. He's not feeling so well at the moment. Sorry to hear that, brother. Hopefully you feel better soon. I know you've been going through your things with your health as well. Prayers out to you, my man. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. I want to have you on the show and talk about that book. I want to finish reading the book first, though. Excellent book, y'all. I'm going to advertise it Tuesday. I don't have it readily available because I'm reading it on my man. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm so sorry, but basically I'm reading it on my phone. So the medium which we read books on the phone. Yeah, I'm reading it on that. Okay, I'm praying for immediate healing for you, Will. I also a diabetic. Yes, that is one of the issues that Will's having. So yeah, you understand that. I'm pre-diabetic, so I have some of those issues too at times. Okay, before I leave out, I want to address some other people here on the live. Kindle, there we go. Thank you, Amy. Yes, on my Kindle. Thank you so much. Yes, that's why I'm reading your book on. Okay, yeah, there's other people in my Nighthawk network. I have not given them as much space at this point. And the thing is, some of these people that I've discussed with, they know they're part of the network and we are helping each other in that regard. But some of the people I haven't quite had those discussions with. So I'm sharing your content on my page. I hope you guys don't mind. If you do, let me know. Let us have a discussion about it or whatnot. But, I basically want to share these platforms with the people that I know and I'm getting to know, because that way we are helping each other. We are educating them. We're helping build each other up. One thing that Helena, aka Derek, said on the remix today that touched me was that we meet some people for a good reason. We meet some people for just a season. So whether you be that or that, I'm thankful for you taking your time and this part of your life to be part of my life and share my podcast journey as well as my thoughts and opinions, not only with yourself, but with others. I'm thankful for those of you who have come to know the show, come to know some of these other shows in my network, and start to network with each other as a regards of it. I've had people today reach out, and because they've met people through some of the other shows, they are now friends and whatnot. I've also have taken it upon myself that when these shows air, because some people don't always know what time the shows are going to come on, that I share that information in real time as it happens. So if I'm watching and participating in a show, I will reach out to you through my Facebook Messenger and let you know, yeah, this show is on, that show is on. Check it out. Be involved. I really was encouraged that a lot of the people from my platform that I met through other platforms took time to be part of Will's audience today. Thank you for that. He thanks you for that as well, as he had on the show. I thank you for that as well. I definitely want to get more people involved in his show. I like his opinions. I like that we are learning, as we learn today, there's a lot of women as well as men who like to talk sports and other things as well. So I encourage you to look for Lions Pure and Uncut. Like I said, that information is on my Get Off My Lawn information page. You also can find it on Will Muhammad's Facebook page. And Coach V, also known as Vincent Fortnett Bay, is on his page as well. I said we definitely want to get those brothers out and be a part of the show sometime soon. And I've been on their show, and I thank you for that. We appreciate that as well. Will saying thank you. No problem, my brother. Because like I said, I know you said initially kind of felt some type of way about me advertising your show on For Show Radio last night, but the thing is, I want us all to encourage one another, my man. There is no ego in this thing. There is no, at least from my end, I don't look at it as, okay, we all in competition. I feel like we all working together to educate the mass, in particular, our people of color. So our platforms are important. They're even more important, I feel, at times than the mainstream medium, because they're not always telling us the real. They're not taking the time to kind of break down some of the things that's being reported. So by all means, I definitely want to put that out there. Hugh, I had on the show a couple weeks ago. We talked some sports. We're gonna have you back again, Hugh. Got a lot of good feedback. Will said I was just joking. Okay, it's all good, Will. You know, you my man's 100 grand. I appreciate you big time. I'm looking forward to a day where we can post COVID meet in person, you, me, Coach V, or whatever. We all go check out some of these local games or just sit down and kick it. I enjoy when y'all get into some of the discussions back down memory lane that y'all have about your coaching days and all that stuff. And like I said, the more that I hear your particular broadcast and talk to you in person, over the phone, I learn a lot more about your journey in life. Like I said, you've been through a lot. You have seen and done a lot. You have a lot that people can learn and get from you, my brother. And like I said, keep in mind, I don't always agree with everything, but I'm always listening. I'm always going to respect your opinion. Please know that. Okay, get some more feedback. Yes, sir, absolutely, Will. I love the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for reaching out to me and wanting to be a part of the network. I appreciate you. I got your absolutely, Hugh. You my man's 100 grand. Conda forever, baby. But yeah, like I said, there's other people I want to point out that's here in the Sean Love. He has started a new podcast, and he basically says that part of it was inspired by what I've done here. I appreciate that. He also is a pastor at the River Ridge Church out in River Ridge. If you had that information, you still watching, Sean, please put that up in the comments. I appreciate it. Like I said, I will encourage you to check out his podcast. I've been listening to it when, basically I get a few moments. It's kind of hard because I know we got so many broadcasts and you all can't just sit here and check out the whole thing. I understand that. But if you join for a few minutes and just acknowledge that you saw it, let me know later on through the messenger, as some of you have, that you saw it and you like what you saw. you encourage me to keep on. I appreciate that. It's all helpful, and I'm sure my partners that I'm advertising now, they would appreciate that positive feedback as well. Keep in mind, though, I do want to say that when you are a part of these forums, whether you're part of mine or you're checking out some of the other broadcasts that I'm broadcasting on the Get Off My Lawn page, please be respectful in your comments. These are meant to be discussions. Now, we don't always have to agree. We will sometimes disagree, in fact, but in the end, we must always be respectful of our people. Some of the people on my platform, they have different walks of life, okay? Some of them are part of the alphabet community, as Big Meech likes to call it. Some of them are preachers of the gospel, such as Pastor Love and my cousin, Dr. Marla Farsi. Some of them come from a Muslim background, like Will Muhammad. Some of them come from Moorish background. I learned that about Coach V, that he studied Moor, and some of the differences and similarities of that. Like I said, they come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, but in the end, they have all opinions, and all their opinions matter. They matter to me. They matter to the world. Like I said, God gave us the ability to speak for a reason. Now, whether we use that ability wisely or not, that's for other people to judge. But we're not here to judge people. We are here to learn from them and their experiences. We're here to educate those. We're here to educate each other. So as long as you are entering these people's shows with that spirit and that understanding, then yes, please be welcome. But if you are not feeling what you're seeing, by all means, you can tune that out. If just like now, if you're seeing this and you saying I'm just talking a bunch of mess and garbage, by all means, you can tune it out. It's all good. But be respectful about it, because if you're not respectful, you will not be perceived greatly in many of these forums. Because just like people are here in the comments, more times than not, if you coming off wrong, I'm not going to have to address the thing. They're going to take care of you themselves. They're going to be the ones that look at you like, why are you coming in here with that mess? Because we're not about that life. We here to help each other. We here to bond with one another. We are the village, okay, as I like to call it. And the village is here for each other. And if you're not trying to be a prosperous or a positive part of the village, please move on. Please keep it moving. That goes for friends, family, neighborhood folks, anybody that sees this platform. I'm not for it. I'm not having it, okay? Take that mess somewhere else to the left. We ain't got time. If you choose to be ignorant and live in your ignorance, by all means, that is your decision, and you go ahead and deal with it. But we here in this house, we down for the people, looking out for the people. And anything that's negative and derogatory, I ain't got time for it. Move on. Peace out to you. But that being said, like I said, I will continue to encourage you guys to look at the other shows on the platform and check them out and get to know these people for yourself. Like I said, I feel very blessed, just as Helena has said, about getting to know you guys and what you are presenting. Tonight, for instance, we have Dish and Tea. It will be on, I'm pretty sure, sometime around 9. That's usually when Meech has it on Sunday. And, he will put up his topic. So when that becomes available, I will put it on my Get Off My Lawn page so you guys can check it out. Hope to meet some of you in the comments then. Like I said, I'm about to wrap it up for today. But again, thank you guys so much for participating in the show, for checking it out. Hopefully some of these things that I talked about in terms of the COVID and the protections were important, and you learn from them, or you will take the time to go research. Because like I said, I'm not an expert in any of these things. It's just, these are things that I've learned along the way from some of my podcast partners, and just basically from doing my research and stuff. So if you are looking to get more acclimated into what's being said and trying to get a better understanding, by all means, do your own research and look these things up for yourself. Clearing my throat, people. Now, again, a couple weeks ago, I was supposed to do a song. It was part of a dare with one of my other broadcast people. So now I'm going to take the time to do that. I'm going to give you a little piece of a song that has brought me solace in these troubled times. I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. I've been practicing It's going to just be part of the song, mind you. And you guys let me know what you think. All right, here we go. Singing part of the classic song, You Got a Friend, is me. Here we go. When you're down and trouble and you need some love and care and nothing's going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I'll be there to brighten up even your darkest night. So just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all I have to do is call, and you'll be right there for me. You know why? 'Cause you got a friend. You got a friend. You got a friend. Oh yeah. You got a friend. And there you have it. Done and done. Okay, folks. I will be back on the air. Get Off My Lawn Live will return 8:30 p.m. This week we are going to talk about something I didn't get into today, but something that is very important to me and hopefully to you as well, because we're not the only people that are suffering and trying to struggle through how to deal with COVID. We need to think about the children. So this week's show is entitled, What About the Children? And we're going to talk about some of the things and hardships that they're going through, as well as talk about some of the things that have been kind of buried under the major reports of COVID and elections in 2020 and what have you. So that's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday show. Wednesday, we're going to have another sports show. We are going to get into sports, the state of sports, and some sports that don't get discussed as much. We're going to talk about those. So until then, thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, please be safe. Wear it, y'all. Wear it properly. Get you more than one. Clean it. Clean you. Just be safe, okay? Until next time, I love y'all. Be safe. Peace.